So, you want to create a Dungeons and Dragons character for the first time, or you want to learn how to do it one of the easiest ways out there. Well, in this video, we're going to show you how to create a character using DNDBeyond.com. Let's get started. Okay, so here we are on DNDBeyond.com. You're going to want to go ahead and sign into your account. I sign in with Twitch. Once you're all signed in, you want to go to collections and my characters. If you don't have a character here, you will be able to create one. So you'll come down here and up here and create a character. You can do standard, quick build, or randomize. I suggest standard because that will help you go through. And you can turn on help text. Help text is really good for people who are beginners, so I suggest you turn that on if you're not watching this video, but I'll walk you through it. Here are the sources. Now, you do have to own the sources to be able to use them on dndbeyond.com. However, you do get a basic rule set and you'll be able to see most of the characters. So what I suggest is to go ahead and enable Magic the Gathering content, Eberron content, and any other sort of content you want to include. This allows you different sources that aren't necessarily canon D&D, but are cool parts of it. Magic the Gathering content is included now in the canon of D&D, and like the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica, so you can include that, and Eberron is a really cool thing to add to. Moving down here, we do dice rolling, enables the digital dice rolling. It's cool to leave that on in case you forget your dice. You can just hit a button and roll everything. It's really fun for when you play online as well. So dice rolling is great. Online features, you can do optional class features or customize origin. I leave those off. Advancement type. This is up to your DM, but I use milestone, so I'll leave it at milestone. Hit point type, you want to switch that to manual normally unless you're using fixed, but manual means you're going to roll dice and add those numbers and put those in. Use prerequisites, allow and restrict certain feature choices. I love the feats that are included in D&D, so definitely include feats and multi-class. Show levels, scaled spells, so basically it shows like different levels of spells, and I always leave that on. Encumbrance, we either use a variant encumbrance, no encumbrance, or use encumbrance. I select no encumbrance for my players because we deal with it a little differently than the game would have you deal with it, but it's totally up to you. You can also ignore the weight of coins. So if you have gold pieces, it doesn't matter how many you have. And basically what I do for that is I give each of my players basically a coin bag of holding. Only coins can fit in it, but basically it's unlimited coins that can be put in there, and then they just imagine what they need and it comes out. And then we'll go over here to race. And then basically you can select different ones, but I always just say all sources. Then you can come down here and select a race. You can select any sort of race that you want to go with, but I am partial to the elf, so we're gonna pick an elf today, and I'm gonna pick the high elf race. And then you'll be able to be presented with a bunch of things to read about your race, and you'll be able to see your racial traits and the benefits that of the race that you chose. So you get +2 to your dexterity, dark vision, keen senses, fey ancestry, and trance. And you can look up all of these in your player's handbook, or you can come down here also and read details on all of this, as well as you get to choose a cantrip. This is a cantrip that you get automatically with your race. So a cantrip is a spell that you get to cast for free. It doesn't cost any magical ability of the day, and basically you get to cast it as many times as you want. So let's just for fun choose Oh, let's go with prestidigitation. That's a fun one that allows you to manipulate things, and you can do any of this with a minor magical trick. It's great for role playing. Prestidigitation and thaumaturgy are two of my favorites for role playing and for using that when you want to put a little extra flair on your role play. And then an extra language that you get to speak. Consult with your DM if there's a language that you need to speak, but because I'm running Storm King's Thunder, I'm going to pick Giant right now, because you need to know how to speak Giant. And we'll move on to class. Class is what you are. It's like your profession, what you're skilled in. Artificer, Barbarian, Bard, Blood Hunter, Cleric, Druid, Fighter, Monk, Paladin, Ranger, Rogue, Sorcerer, Warlock, Wizard. So all of these are great choices, but because I'm an elf, I want to pick something magical. Now, that doesn't mean you have to pick an elf and magical. I just like that idea. So what I want to go ahead and pick this time is a Druid. Druids are a fun class and definitely one that you can learn more about. So when you're on your class here, once you have it selected, you can pick the level of the class that you're in. It does allow for multi-classing down here where you can add another class, but let's say we're starting at level 5, we're a level 5 Druid. So now it adds all these extra things that you get with your additional levels. So here, a Druid skill. What is one thing you definitely want to be good at? Animal handling. What's another thing? Maybe you're in nature, so you want to be skilled at nature checks. Write your backstory and have that align with your backstory. So like if you want to be good at something because you're a druid and like in your backstory you did something in nature, you are going to want to include that in your backstory, and then you select the abilities and proficiencies that belong to your story. Your druid circle, you have several options based upon what you chose and everything. If you like turning into different creatures, I suggest Circle of the Moon, but it's totally up to you on what you choose for this section. I'm just showing you how this tool works. Again, all these awesome features are covered here, so you can expand them and read what each of them can do for you and for your abilities. So then you come down here, and at 4th level you get a choice of a feat or ability score improvement. Ability score improvement is going to improve 2 of your ability scores, but we don't know what those are yet, so I'm going to put this on hold as we go to our abilities really quickly. Here we are on the ability screen, and what abilities you get to choose from. Now you can do standard array, you can do point buy, or you can do manual enrolled. So rolling is what I prefer, but for this situation I'll just do a standard array. Standard array is 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, and 8. So I get to assign these to all of what I think is best for my character. So, you know, I'm just gonna pick some here that I believe are important, that I believe we should have for being out in the wild. And there we go. That is what it is plugged in, and those are ability scores. Now we have some things that we can still modify. So let's go back to class and come down here, and I'm gonna want to put wisdom and maybe constitution. I believe those 2 are the ones here. So come back and you look at the constitution, and now you have that +1 modifier, but you put the base score of 14 in there. So if you look over here at the 13, you have a 13 in your total score of both charisma and this. So each of your modifiers go up per even number. So if you go up to 14 on either of these, they'll be boosted. So maybe we need some more charisma, being maybe one of the leaders and negotiators. So instead of boosting constitution, I can boost charisma. So then we go back over here And now that's a 14, it's a +2 modifier instead of a 13, a +1. So you can look at this and ask your DM what you should be good at for the class that you choose. But it's totally up to you on what you choose for those. Then you can come over here to spells. These are all your known spells that you can select from. So you'll go through the list and select them really quick. It's really easy to click the ones you want. So let's say we want frostbite. You just click learn and it's learned. Then you go to prepared spells and it's up there. Let's say you want poison spray. You need a way to attack. Let's say you also want shillelagh, so you can empower your weapons. Let's say you also want charm person, so you can negotiate. You want to cure wounds, so you can heal people. Healing word, so you can heal people from a distance. An ice knife, so you have something else you can throw at people. All these things, once you click them and you click prepare, they'll be up here in your prepared spells and you'll have them on your character sheet and the ability to cast them. Then we'll go over here to our description. Description is fun because you can pick an elf character you want to be. So let's pick this one. Actually, let's pick this one. And right now it's named RemyKeene's character. That's not a good name, I don't think. So let's figure out a new name. I'm just gonna click randomize. Zumbalar Wasanthi. That's a cool name. But I don't know if I want something that starts with a Z because I don't like being last in alphabetical order. All right, Cornelis Ilocent. Here we go. Ekas Iranafa. I like that. Ekas Iranafa. This is where you can choose your background. Whatever background you want, I'm going to make this guy a criminal and a spy. Say he likes to beat people at dragon chess, and because he's a criminal, he gets the background feat of reliable and trustworthy liaisons and criminals here. Then you can roll a d8 or click random for your personality traits. So we'll click random, 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 and close it. Now down here in my personal characteristics, I'll be able to remember all of the things that we rolled. So I blow up at the slightest insult. So don't insult me or I'm gonna be mad. Honor, I don't steal from others in the trade. So he basically sticks to not stealing from other thieves, but instead stealing from people that deserve it, maybe. This helps you write your character and think of their backstory. Someone I love died because of a mistake I made. That will never happen again. So you've kind of made a vow to yourself that you're going to do that, and that's really cool. So that's definitely something that you can work with. And a flaw, when I see something valuable, I can't think about anything but how to steal it, and that really is awesome, because it's like it kind of tempts you, because if you have a bond with a thief but they have something that you want to steal, it's kind of like you're torn between yourself. You gotta figure out how your character would act in that situation, and it's just a lot of fun. So then you can go over here to equipment. Equipment is gonna allow you to go through and select your starting equipment. So you'll get basically any of your initial items. I love to choose the quarterstaff. For druids, I just think it's cool for them to have a staff. We're also going to give them we'll give them a club and say they made it out of a tree, because that would be cool. And then leather armor and a druidic focus, like something on the end of my staff. Maybe it's a rare rock or something like that I carry around. So I have all that, and plus I have the thievery. So maybe I was raised by a bunch of druids and learned the druidic ways, but then I was abandoned or forgotten in a small town, and I had to figure out how to make my own way, and I became a criminal. So then you're going to click add starting equipment, and that will now all be in your inventory. You're going to have to click on wield if you want to wield it, and wear if you want to wear it. So if you don't click these buttons, they will not be on your character sheet when you're done. So make sure you click those buttons. Then we're going to come over here to currency, and we're going to add the different gold that you get. I automatically got 15 gold for the class and the background that I chose. We will move on to what's next. You can either view your character sheet or export PDF. So this little button here also lets you view your character sheet. So we'll click there, and there he is. There's Akas. So Akas Aramfa, you see that he's not a very strong person. You have a +1 to dexterity, and all of these other modifiers are done for you. You can see here that you have proficiency in animal handling, which we chose, deception, nature, perception, and stealth. So all of these, you're gonna add this number when you roll your dice. If your DM says make an animal handling check to see if you can interact with this animal, you're gonna add 6 to your d20 roll. So it'll be great. And the cool thing is you can click it, and then a dice rolls on the screen. And I know you can't really see that because it's rolling, but here up in that corner, you can see I rolled a 17, and down here it does the math for you. So 17 plus 6 is 23. So you tell your DM I got a 23. Of course, I suggest you buy real dice because real dice are so much fun and a lot of fun to collect. But if you don't have them, this button is good in a pinch. So if you ever had a question about what you should add, say to an attack, you go ahead and do that, and you rolled a 1, and it's -1, so you did 0 damage. So that's bad. You don't want to do that. So I mean, all sorts of things, but how cool is it to have maybe a deficiency where you think you're big and bad, but you have to all of a sudden hit someone with a club and it doesn't work. That's kind of puts you in a sticky situation and everything. So it's totally up to you on what you want to do, but then you also have your wild shapes and your magic and everything that you get to do. So you'll want to just look at all of what that can do for you. So it's a lot of fun. I hope this has helped you understand how to better make a character. That's how you make a character on D&D Beyond. I hope that helped you. I hope it wasn't too lengthy. It's definitely something that I was nervous for at first, but once I realized how simple D&D Beyond made it and easy to understand, it just helps you understand how to make a character. Eventually, you can even make one on paper. But using this resource, you should never be ashamed of it because it just means you're eager to play and you want to get that character sheet so you can start playing quicker. Again, if you enjoyed this video, smash a like button. Make sure you get subscribed so you can come back for the next video that we have. And you have a wonderful day. By the way, I stream on Twitch, and you should really come hang out with me anytime I'm live. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them for you. And it'd be great to see you in the chat. So come see me at twitch.tv/RemyKeene. Links in the description. Thanks. Click one of these 2 videos on your screen to support the channel. Clicking these videos helps me out. Thank you.